we start, I would like to do this. Let's take a moment to recognize that we are native land. Please think in honor of those who have preceded us, including the people of the Duwamish, Squamish, Nisqually, and the Mukashi tribes. We do this in every single program. This is not just a one-time deal. We recognize that we are in this beautiful land and that we're doing this celebration as a community as well. So once again, let's celebrate, let's start the party, and let's have fun. Let's have fun for them. So thank you.
I'm so glad to see everyone here. So many smiling faces, beautiful faces. You're all glowing tonight. Maybe that's because it's a glow-in-the-dark night at the Highline Heritage Museum. Thank you to our hosts. And I'd like to introduce Annie McGrath, CEO of Seattle Southside Chamber. She's going to say a few words.
Thank you, Scott, man of the hour, man of the night. Hello and welcome, everyone. Scott took your glowing joke, so I'm just going to skip right through that one, but you do all look wonderful. My name is Annie McGrath, and I'm the president and CEO of the Seattle Southside Chamber, and we are just absolutely delighted to be partnering with Discover Burien tonight to celebrate Scott and Teresa and the B-Town Blog's 15th year anniversary. So congratulations. So Scott and Teresa, we want to sincerely thank you for all that you do for our community. The B-Town blog and its sister blogs across our region are the go-to source for hyper local news, but it means so much more to this community, and you guys mean so much more to this community. The work that you do connects people to what's happening in town. It highlights what's going on with our local governments. It empowers people to be informed and connect with their neighbors and meet their neighbors. And it creates a real sense of pride and joy for this place that we all love to live. And we appreciate all that you do to bring our community together. You're a champion for local businesses. You are a stalwart supporter for all the nonprofits in the area, all the work you do to highlight nonprofits, which they do for free, by the way. They are doing all of this out of the love they have for this community. We just appreciate you so much. Everyone here, everyone in this community sees what you do. We see your passion, we see your commitment, and we just appreciate it. And tonight we get to celebrate it. So cheers to you both. And with that, I'll hand it over to Sherry.
On behalf of Discover Burien, we are a nonprofit service organization dedicated to economic development and community engagement in Burien. We value our partnership with the B-Town blog and look forward to many more years of working together, making Burien awesome.
Hey, Teresa! Hi, everybody! My name's Teresa Schaefer, and I promise this is not as long as it looks on the paper. It's just a really big font because I'm not old, it's dark in here. I'm really here just to take 2 minutes to talk about 2 things: love and gratitude. The B-Town blog was founded on love. Love for our kids, Brooks and Sophie, who are here tonight. That sent us looking for something to do on the weekend. Finding nothing on an events in Burien Google search, Scott said, I'm going to start a blog, and I'm going to put events, news, so people know what's going on. I love Scott, so I said, I support you. Do it. Look, see? Which brings me to gratitude, which I am filled with for our wonderful community who has supported the blog this 15 years. And especially for all the folks, readers, advertisers, writers, technical and sales helpers, who have shown up at the right time to make this hometown news thrive. There are too many to name you all, but I do want to thank a few. Janet Grella, Ralph Nichols, Margaret Ryan, and Jack Main. May they all rest in peace. Alive and well are Todd Christensen and Wendy Quisenberry. I saw Wendy here tonight. He and she are founding partners who helped us and have been supportive all along. Michael Brunk, who has shepherded us through some incredible technical crises and shares his remarkable photographic skills. Blake Messer, who is here How are you? He's somebody who has always inspired and assisted us to innovate. And some of the really great things that you see on the blog are things that he has helped us implement. Mark Newman, Bart Ryan, Joyce Steele, Nicholas Johnson, Dave Markwell, Sean Underwood, Dana Reed Mason, Fred Firetag, Donna Ozier, and so many others. We are grateful and humbled by your support. Thank you all.
I'd like to introduce a good friend and my creative partner from the Maury Island Incident film, and hopefully others, Mr. Steve Edmiston. Get his bread pass
I met Scott Schaefer in 2008. I was filming a short film on the campus at Highline High School. A film called The Day My Parents Became Cool. It was a high school comedy. A guy named Scott Schaefer calls and says, "Can I come to the film set and do a story and take some pictures?" And I'm a filmmaker with nothing for a budget for PR, and I'm like, "Yes, you can come every day to the film set and take pictures." So Scott shows up and he introduces himself, and he's taking the pictures, and I knew immediately that he was a great journalist because his instincts took over when he saw that we had the superintendent of Highline Public Instruction dressed up as a punk rocker with pink hair and a black jacket and jack boots, studs, just completely, I don't know why he agreed to do it, but he appeared in a movie that way, and Scott was like, front page. Front page. Can't get a better photo than that. And then we kind of, got to know each other, and about 4 years later, you came to one of the events that we hold in our community, and it happened to be this goofy local interest UFO story. And at the end of that meeting, you were like, well, this is a great story. We got to make a movie. And what I didn't know at that point in time in 2012 was that Scott was not only a journalist, but he was an accomplished director, member of the Directors Guild, that he was an accomplished comedy writer, one of the founders of Almost Live, that he was so accomplished that he had moved here from Los Angeles, where he'd been writing in the Arsenio Hall Writers Room for Penn and Teller. I mean, just all kinds of chops. So it was very fortunate that we collaborated and made a movie that really wasn't funny at all. Well, it was a serious movie. But since then, we've had many, many collaborations, and we still want to keep collaborating. Somehow, it's about love. I love both of you so very, very much. And one of the things we talked about over the years is journalism. Now, I'm a lawyer. I'm not Scott's lawyer. I keep telling him, Scott, I'm not your lawyer. Not your lawyer. But we talk about journalism all the time. We talk about the Constitution. We talk about the First Amendment. We talk about infringement. We talk about plagiarism. We talk about ethics. We deal with things that are happening every day in that, and just sort of roll that stuff around, because even in hyper-local journalism, even in the journalism that you read in the blogs every day, these issues are real, and they happen. And by the way, I'm not your lawyer, but I will share with all of you, the Constitution does not guarantee any of you the right to publish your letter in his paper. Right? You need to go back and watch Schoolhouse Rock some more, if that's what you think your right is, okay? So I want to share a quote with you, and hopefully I can read, there's enough light to read. So I got an interview with this guy named Thomas Jefferson. You might have heard of him. And he had some lofty words back in the day, a couple hundred years ago. He said, "Our liberty depends on the freedom of the press. It cannot be limited without being lost." Perfect sense. Same dude also said this, however: "Nothing can now be believed which is seen in the newspaper. Truth itself becomes suspicious by being put in that polluted vehicle." So I think the lesson in that is, even the best of us knows that in the moment, we can be mad at the press, or we can love the press. And the only reason that it works at all is that we believe in the institution of the press above our own personal feelings, right? We have to believe in the institution of the press. Now, if we don't have that unrelenting institutional love, it breaks. And we know what's happening right now is that the press is breaking on a national scale. It's dividing along partisan lines. We get our news from a platform. And this is where local journalism really has a role. What does it mean to be a local journalist today? I believe it means that local, smart, and sustainable journalism is more important now than ever. It is perhaps local journalism that does not immediately join the daily cable news punditry of breathless accusations and daily sensationalism. That local journalism is the kind that can save us. The kind of news that makes our daily lives a bit more informed about our immediate surroundings, where we can learn about that without having to have a fight online, right? So I just want to share with you a list of the last 10 stories in your B-Town blog. We had 2 stories, one about the Highline School Foundation scholarship apps that are now open, and the Highline High School alumni that just received a prestigious scholarship. We had a story about the upcoming Waterland Walkers club hikes. We had a story about Dr. Martin Luther King. We had a story about, these are the last 10 stories, about the Seattle Southside Chamber of Commerce story about our lifestyle resolutions for the new year. We had a story by a local columnist, the self-labeled B-Town Wanderer, offering a Burionite's view of Iceland. We've all wanted that story, been waiting for it. We had a story about Burion's severe weather shelter. We had a story about a new local grief recovery group. We had a story about our community's investigation of salmon loss in our polluted and pollution-impacted creeks. And we had a story about the Valley Independent Investigative Team's inquiry about an in-custody death in December. Last 10 stories. Pretty much covered a lot of territory, right? It's all news. It's who, it's what, it's where, it's when, it's how, and it's why. All without starting a fight amongst us. Right? Support the B-Town blog. Are we raising money? Support the B-Town blog whenever you can, even when you're mad. We have so much to thank Teresa and Scott for. Please join me and raise a glass. B-Town blog, 15 more years.
All right, everyone look up at the monitor there. You recognize this great local piece of art. This is called the Street Clock. It's on Southwest 152nd, about a block or so from here, on the south side of the street. This was an artwork done by an artist named Kim David Hall. It's a great work of art. I thought, well, what do you do when you're doing a logo? You want to kind of represent your city maybe somehow, and you want an iconic landmark or some kind of figure in it. Well, we got permission, by the way. I want to make sure everyone knows we got permission from the artist. It took a while, but we finally did. We have his blessing. So I'm going to unveil the logo now by hitting the space bar, and it will go from... You'll see that between the B and the T is the street clock, the iconic street clock. And I want to give a shout out to Todd Christensen. Is Todd here? Todd took my terrible direction on this and my photograph of the clock, and anyway, we went around and around, but he did a great job. And so there's our new logo. What a big day this is for us, you know. I don't think we've ever done a new logo and a new website launch in the same day, so this is historic. So, everyone, this is Shane Griffiths. He has his own company named Clarity Online, and he does website design, consulting, marketing, just about everything. And so I met Shane about 3 years ago or so when our server crashed, and I was desperate for creating a new website and maybe recovering our lost data, which we were able to do. And Shane helped us. Our website that's, well, as of yesterday, was based on, it's a WordPress site using Divi as its theme template. And we thought it was kind of slow, it had a lot of bloatware, and so Shane has taken it under his wing to do the new website. So Shane, step on up here and start talking. I'll get your PowerPoint.
I first met Scott, as you mentioned, a few years ago, and we started trying to fix small things on the website. And if anyone knows Scott, he has big dreams, and those could not be accomplished on the platform we have. So we started brainstorming, and out of all the ideas we had, they had one thing in common, and that was a better user experience. So that means 3 things: readers, advertisers, and authors. For readers, we wanted to show that we're constantly improving the website. So we released so many new features, I can't name them all, but a few that you're gonna notice off the bat. The website is much, much faster. You can click around pages, they load quickly, it's exactly what you expect in a news website. Mobile first. We found 3 in 4 users are on a mobile device, so the website now reflects that. You're gonna have the best mobile experience you've ever had. Navigation. You'll notice multiple tiers of navigation now. Up on the top, there's a menu for all topics, which you'll see many more topics than existed before. There's a quick scroll feature that works on the phone. You can scroll back and forth on that dark gray bar to see featured topics. Speaking of topics, we now have parent-child relationships. So if you care about crime, you can go to crime and then see not just crime, but arrest reports and very specific subcategories of crime, and it's all in one place. We hope that you enjoy the new experience as users. Next up for our advertisers. So we really appreciate the continued support, and we focused on several new features to appeal to our advertisers. One is premium ad space. So no matter what device you're on, there will always be at least 2 different ad placements that are above the fold. Second, more mobile impressions. So on mobile, ads now show 2 to a column at the top of each article and at the bottom of each article. We can also show ads in between content in the article automatically. As an advertiser, you can now target by topic. So you can show ads on just one category of the site, such as business or politics or environment. We totally overhauled sponsored content. So sponsored native articles now have their own byline. They have the little tag that shows it's sponsored and an archive where you can see all articles posted by that sponsor. And then coming soon, campaigns. Scott's very excited for this one. Advertisers will be able to run targeted ad campaigns based on audiences. So that means your average user who tends to read business news, you could target an ad campaign, and that ad doesn't have to be a picture. It could be a video. It could be a sign-up form. It could be anything you want targeted at that audience. Lastly, authors. We cannot forget Scott and Teresa. So we released several enhancements to aid in the continued growth of South Peak Media. First one being SEO. The new website is going to show up on Google in ways that it was never possible. So if you start Googling Burien events, Burien news, Burien weather, you name it, you're going to start seeing the website show up first. So that means a lot more eyeballs on articles. Enhanced analytics, syndication. So Scott and Teresa have several different articles, or several different platforms.
How you doing?
Every time he wants to post an article on another site, he has to copy and paste that by hand. That's not a thing anymore. He presses a button and it just zooms over. More flexible layouts and scalability. So in the future, we are going to scale this new platform to all South Peak Media properties.
And Shane is great to work with. He's very responsive, quick, and he knows everything. He's really impressive. So thank you again, Shane, for doing this great work. Really appreciate it. I'm proud to introduce a new scholarship intended to honor the memory of our late senior writer, Jack Main, who sadly passed away in December of 2021, just days before his 85th birthday. Now, Jack Main is one of these old school journalists with ink in his veins, similar to the Jerry Robinson exhibit over here. Jack did all there is to do in journalism and newspapers. He had a lively, colorful, long life, and he was known as a dapper dresser and a hard-nosed news guy. I'm going to play his video that kind of explains this scholarship, and then after the video, I'm going to bring up Fred Swanson.
Cat did what, Mrs. Harris? Not really. All right, okay. Listen, Mark, some crazy stuntman is going to try taking off in an airplane from the top of an automobile this afternoon out in the valley. Sounds like a story. Hold it, Jack.
Well, one of the things he talked about, what he said he loved the most, was he loved mentoring young reporters. And that's what struck home with me. It kind of was the precipice of when I talked to Scott and I said, got an idea of how we can help keep the memory of Jack Main alive.
It'd be a great way to remember him, a great way for him to leave a legacy. I think it's something he would have enjoyed and known, and it would have really touched him. It's a great way to honor such a long and fruitful life and someone who had already given so much of himself back to community.
South King Media is doing a great honor to Jack Main by initiating the Jack Main Journalism Scholarship. My name's Sue Favor, and I first met Jack when I walked into his newsroom in 1991, pretty freshly out of college, looking for a job. Jack Main taught me a lot of things, and I think one of the most valuable in writing was a story is done not when you can not add one more word, but when you can't take one more word away without it not making sense. In other words, be concise in your writing. And over the years, I learned how true that was. Every young writer has a tendency to write more than they need to. That was just one of the many, journalistic lessons that Jack taught me throughout the years.
Scott and Teresa, first of all, it's a real thrill to be here, and congratulations on 15 years. We've talked before. My mother was a journalist, wrote for the Virginian Pilot in Norfolk, Virginia. My brother is a journalist. He works for New York Magazine in New York City. Journalism is really important, and the idea that we're going to help to support another generation of journalists is really amazing and important. So thank you so much for the opportunity. So the Jack Main Scholarship is one of 32 awards that we're going to be giving this year. We're going to be awarding about $235,000 in scholarships to graduating seniors from all of the Highline high schools. And so this is an opportunity tonight to contribute to the Jack Main Scholarship. We're hoping to raise $2,500, I believe, for the scholarship this year, so we can have the inaugural year and choose a student from one of the Highline Public Schools who's graduating and wishing to go into journalism and to follow your lead in creating kind of news and journalism for the community. So I invite you, I think is there a QR code somewhere that, yes? QR code. So is it at the front? It's either at the front table or in the bar. So in the bar or at the front table, there is a QR code. You can scan it, and that will link you directly to the Jack Main Scholarship so that you can help contribute to get the $2,500 for this inaugural scholarship year. And then we hope that every year we can continue to give this scholarship along with the 31 other scholarships that we give every year through the Highline Schools Foundation to support graduating seniors from Highline's incredible public schools. So thank you very much for having us here and for partnering with us so that we can help foster another generation of journalists to keep us informed and to let us know what's going on in the community. So thank you.
All right, thanks, Fred. I want to give a shout out to Matt Mahoney, Mayor of Des Moines. He's the one that really brought this Jack Main Scholarship idea up. We're just casually talking. So thank you. We're so happy you're all gathered in a big group like this because we're going to do a sing-along. So this musician guy, Ryan Burns. Give it up for Ryan. Ryan is in the 3 Point Blues Band, or was. He's in a lot of different bands, Urban Achievers, and his own solo stuff. You can find him on Spotify, Ryan Burns. Burien School of Music, yes. The old barbershop just down by Taco Time. That's where he teaches music classes. So Ryan did the music for this song, which was done, I believe, in 2012. Do you know the history? Okay, so it's about 10 years, over 10 years old now. And the lyrics were written by Andy Kleitch, who lives down at 33 Point. He's the CEO of Atomo Coffee, a Highline High School graduate who's done very well. And he's a very colorful, quirky, funny guy that manages the Polar Bear Plunge also. So we are now going to listen to a song called Burien Anthem.